Are you creating content, posting everywhere, and still not making any sales? It could very well be that you're throwing spaghetti against the wall with your marketing messages. Many online business owners struggle with their marketing messages. And there's three main reasons why this happens. The first is that they're often spreading themselves too thin. They're trying to be on every single platform, even if their audience isn't there, which is a huge problem. Because why are you wasting time on a platform if your audience isn't actually going to take any action from that platform to watch your content, to consume it, to then potentially want to be able to make a sale and purchase a product or service? So you really need to make sure that you're not spreading yourself so thin by trying to be everywhere. The second big issue we see is that people will often chase trends. And because of that, the marketing message is very unclear because they're trying to chase a trend in their particular niche that may not make a clear connection to a product or service. This is often a huge problem that we see with food bloggers in particular because it's so easy to try to rank or to go after a reel that's doing really well, that's a trending type of recipe. But if that recipe has no connection to the product or service, to the cookbook that they've created, or to the ebook that they've created, or the membership that they have for weekly meal plans, that just isn't going to work for them. So you have to be careful that when you're doing your marketing messages, that you are not just trying to chase a trend, but instead you're staying clear in what you are trying to tell them about your service or product that you offer through the content that you are sharing that answers the problem that your product or service also answers. The other issue that we see is that people are trying to often make too many messages at once. They're trying to solve so many different problems rather than getting into a specific niche and really finding their audience. When this happens, your audience ends up confused. They don't know why they're coming to you. They're not sure if they should be coming to you because one day you're talking about your Italian traditions in your family, but the next day you're creating an asparagus recipe for a salad. People get confused if you don't determine what your niche is and what line you're going to stay in. And this is a problem because then your marketing message gets very confusing to people and they don't know where you stand or what they can expect from you. Complicated marketing messages are going to affect you across the board. The biggest ways that we're talking about, of course, is going to have that confused audience. They don't know what to expect from you. They don't know what their email is going to be that comes into their inbox as compared to their social media that they're going to be watching maybe on Instagram or Facebook. You have to start to get clear on what you are trying to help your audience with. When your marketing message is clear on that, they know what to expect. You're not creating content that doesn't make any sense anymore to them. You also will end up finding that you're going to waste a ton of time on platforms that don't convert. If your audience is an audience that is in probably 50 or older, or even 45 and older, because I fall into that, you probably are not going to be posting your content for them on TikTok. They're not going there for that. If I am going to go to a platform, I'm going to go and watch a reel. I will watch potentially a TikTok to kind of zone out on, but I promise you, I will not take action. I will not buy a product or service from an Instagram reel or a TikTok. That's just not the way that I am consuming my content. So you need to understand your audience. What are they interacting with? Where are they going to consume that type of information? If I know that my audience is looking for marketing information, I understand they're going to go to YouTube, they're going to go to podcasts, and maybe they're going to read a blog post. That is ideally where my content is going to be. Anchor content, which I'm then repurposing into blog content so that it's available for those that want to read and not listen or watch. So it's really important that you don't waste time on those platforms that don't convert for you. And then when you are constantly trying to be everywhere, burnout is definitely going to happen. If you're trying to do the latest reels or you're trying to stay on top of the latest trends, it's not just about having to put the content out, it's also having to do that research, having to know what is actually converting for your people. And when you're doing that, it can lead to burnout. So when we're really looking at how do we make sure that our marketing message is clear and concise, it's not just about the words that we use, it's the way in which we produce that content. You want to start with anchor content that's in line with the product or service that you're offering. Make sure that you are then marketing via email, as well as 1 to possibly 2 social media platforms. If you stay in your lane and know where your people are, it is going to convert better. In order for your marketing message to be clear, you have to be able to define your one core message. What are you going to be known for? What is the problem or solution that you offer? And where are you going to, how are you going to be able to stay in that lane? The second thing that you need to make sure that you are doing is creating 3 content pillars. What type of content is your audience looking for from you? How are you solving that problem that then is connected to the product or service that you offer, because those content pillars define all the information that they're looking for. So really making sure that you are clear on those content pillars so it makes it easier for them to be able to navigate your site, find the problems that they have, and create a solution for them with the product or service that you already offer. You also want to, of course, prioritize platforms that convert. So anchor content, email marketing, 1 to 2 social media platforms. And you need to determine what those 1 to 2 social media platforms are. Now notice, email marketing content, I said, comes first because you own it. It is going to be more likely to convert. There's no algorithms that are going to impact it. The only thing that's impacting it is going to be open rates and click rates, which are all things that you can work with. You can improve upon your marketing message and your emails and your subject lines to get more people to open and to get them to click. You can teach them how to continue to click because your content is going to be provided there with a solution for them if they are struggling with that problem. So really making it clear of how you are going to be able to put that content in front of them. You also want to repurpose smartly. You have heard me emphasize over and over again, anchor content. Now, I believe in my heart of hearts that anchor content can be YouTube, a podcast, or a blog post. So if there's one of those 3 that you're more comfortable with, some people are not comfortable with getting in front of video or doing a podcast for the audio. So I'm okay with you having a blog post that comes out once a week. Now, ideally, if you want to speed up the process to make a sale with a product or service that you offer, I am going to tell you you need to get in front of them either via video or audio through a podcast. Now, for many of you that are listening and watching in, you know that I have a YouTube channel, which then gets repurposed into a podcast episode, which then gets repurposed into a blog post, which then gets marketed via my email and potentially on social media. Heard me say potentially? Because social media isn't where my people are looking to interact with me. They're going to interact with me via my email. And of course, this is time and time again has been proven with my data. You want to pay attention to your data. If you know that people are clicking through from an Instagram reel, do it. But if you can't see that, there's no direct link, there's no ROI, or you can't figure out a KPI for why you are doing something, then don't do it. You want to make sure that you are repurposing smartly, making it something that makes sense not only to you, but also to your audience so that they can easily see why you are creating the content with the problem that they have, and then showing them, hey, not only can I solve this quickly for you through a YouTube video or from a podcast episode or a blog post, but I have a full, complete product that is going to give you the entire solution to your problem. So if, for example, you are a play therapist and you're wanting to help parents with their little ones and getting them to do their chores, maybe you're going to have a course or a workshop that shows them how to go about doing this. And your content is going to attract them with, how do I get my kids to do my chores? And then you're going to be able to say, this is why or how that they are not able to do it. Now, let me show you the way in which you're going to fix it. And that's the product or service that you offer. So you want to be clear in how you are repurposing your content for your audience so that they can get the next step from you. A simplified marketing message equals better communication with your audience so they understand that you are going to provide them with the entire solution with your product or service. Now, if you are someone that struggles with your visibility, you have visibility out there, but they're not making sales, you're going to want to join in on my October challenge where we begin turning visibility into making sales. This 4-day challenge is going to help you be able to take your visibility to the next level by actually bringing in income, which we all remember is why we're business owners.